Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome today's Mistress of Ceremonies, Shreya Ramanathan.
Good morning, and welcome to the 2020 State of the Schools Address. I am Shreya Ramanathan, a senior at Green Valley High School and a member of CCSD's School Board Student Advisory Committee. I have the privilege of emceeing today's special event. I would like to recognize my peers and fellow members of the School Board Student Advisory Committee in attendance who volunteered to help with today's event. Before we begin, I would like you to join me in recognizing the contributions of some of our very best in the Clark County School District. As you enter the ballroom, you were able to experience artwork from the talented students at Valley High School. Gracing each of your tables are lovely centerpieces made by students from Grant Sawyer Middle School. Guests are welcome to take one of the small tiles as a memento of this special event, but please leave behind the larger tiles. The Clark High School String Ensemble and the Don and Dee Snyder Elementary School Choir were wonderful in welcoming you this morning. And last, but hardly least, how about the Liberty High School football team? The Nevada team that beat Bishop Gorman High School on its way to the 4A state championship in 2019. I would also like to offer a special thank you to those who played an important role in bringing us to this beautiful venue today. The State of the Schools Address is presented by Win Las Vegas in partnership with the Public Education Foundation. We would also like to offer a special thanks to Vegas PBS for live streaming and recording the event today. Please stand and kindly silence your phones for the presentation of our nation's colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and then the national anthem.
Colors, hold, left, face, cover, present, turn.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose brush right stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Right. Pace. Forward. March.
Please be seated. Thank you, Shadow Ridge High School, AFJROTC, for the presentation of our nation's colors. And thank you to Brianna De Santos, a vocal major at Las Vegas Academy, who sang the national anthem. Now, please join me in welcoming School Board President Lola Brooks and School Board Vice President Linda Cavazos.
Thank you, Sharia. We appreciate you and the Student Advisory Council attending today to represent the CCSD student body. I'd also like to welcome everyone today to the 2020 State of the Schools Address. Thank you for prioritizing this event and coming to hear about our progress towards promises and our goals for the future.
Good morning, everyone. I am Linda Cavazos, your District G trustee, and it's my distinct honor to be here today with Superintendent Jesus Starra, President Brooks, our District E trustee, and our fellow trustees from the Clark County School District. Will my colleagues please stand and remain standing as I call your names? From District A, Trustee Deanna Wright. From District B, Trustee Chris Garvey. From District C, Trustee Dr. Linda Young. From District D, Trustee Irene Cepeda. And from District F, Trustee and Board Clerk Danielle Ford. Thank you, trustees. I would also like to take a few moments to recognize those elected officials who are here with us today. We deeply appreciate your taking the time to be with us today. From the state of Nevada, State Treasurer Zach Koenig. Nevada Department of Education, State Superintendent Joan Ebert, representing Governor Sisolak. Nevada State Senators Scott Hammond, Senator Marilyn Dondero Loop, Senator Mo Dennis, Senator Joyce Woodhouse, Senator Joe Hardy. And from our Nevada State Assembly, Assemblyman Ozzie Fumo. There he is. Assemblywoman Michelle Gorla. Assemblyman Glenn Levitt. Assemblywoman Connie Monk. She's here. Assemblywoman Dina Neal. She's here. Assemblyman Tom Roberts. Assemblyman Edgar Flores. Yes. Former Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley. Judge William Voy. There he is, right here. Clark County Commissioner and Chair Marilyn Kirkpatrick. Right here in front of me, City of Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman. City of Las Vegas Councilwoman Michelle Fiore. City of Las Vegas Councilwoman Olivia Diaz. City of North Las Vegas Mayor John Lee. Boulder City Mayor Kiernan McManus. Let's see. City of Mesquite Councilwoman Annie Black. She's right there in front. Nevada State Board of Education Vice President Mark Newbern. Nevada State Board of Education member Dr. Catherine Dockweiler. Nevada State Board of Education member Felicia Ortiz. Nevada State Board of Education member Robert Blakely. And from our federal office, Associate Director from Congresswoman Susie Lee's office, Gabby Everett. So I wasn't watching the doors very carefully. I know a couple of people might have walked in. Did I miss anyone? Please do not be shy, and I know you're not, to go ahead and raise your hands if I missed you. Did I get everyone? That's great, because that was really small print. I'm just going to tell you that right now that I was reading from. And I will turn it back over to President Brooks. Thank you, elected officials, for being here with us today. We very much appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Trustee Cavazos. My fellow board members and myself have the privilege of representing community members across the valley. We are honored to serve 320,000 students and their families. Although we each represent different geographic regions, we all work together to ensure the policies and priorities of the district meet the broader community's expectations. This is often a daunting task, but one we all remain firmly committed to.
The Board of School Trustees approved the district's 5-year strategic plan, Focus 2024. We're committed to helping the superintendent and his team accomplish the goals set forth in that plan. We all recognize that we cannot achieve those goals without the hard work and dedication of our teachers, our support staff, and our administrators. As we speak and are here, they are in their classrooms, supporting, teaching, and supervising. We salute them all. Can we have a round for all of our employees that are out there in our schools? As a board, we are also committed to furthering more transparency and accountability in all areas, at all levels, for the benefit of all of our stakeholders. Timely evaluations and relevant trainings are necessary so that within our roles, we are constantly aware of the most effective, empathic, and strategic methodology that we as trustees can employ in support of our students, employees, and communities. Teamwork and honest communication between working with our superintendent and our board will need to be a key component as we ensure that we are providing a safe and inclusive and an educationally sound environment for all of our students.
As trustees, we are fortunate because we get to witness so many amazing things happening in our schools. Many of you attending, including business and community leaders, have also witnessed many of these amazing things. We appreciate the time and resources you dedicate to the success of our students. And while we've made progress in recent years, the board recognizes that we all have a lot of work to do. To accomplish our goals, it will take intense effort, laser-like focus, and a commitment from our entire community.
So we invite you to engage with us, either with the entire board or with your representative trustee. We know that we can count on all of you in this room to help us find workable, effective solutions to the complex challenges that we face every day as an important part of governing the 5th largest school district in our country. I thank you, our whole board thanks you, the superintendent thanks you for being here today. Your partnership is vital to the district's ongoing goal of furthering student outcomes for all of our children in every single classroom, every single school, and every single community. Thank you all, and stay involved. We need you.
Again, thank you for being here today. We look forward to continued collaboration in the difficult yet rewarding work ahead.
Thank you, trustees, for those wonderful remarks. It is now my honor to introduce the president of Wynn Las Vegas and Encore, Marilyn Spiegel.
Good morning, everyone. It is wonderful to have you here at Wynn, and the beautiful voices of the choir and the singing of the national anthem were phenomenal. But I have to tell you, I have learned a new cheer for my operating group when we meet every Thursday morning at 10:30. I can't wait to try it out. So I think we could all say that we are gathered together in the spirit of wanting to improve education for all of our community. And at Wynn, although we are not educators and we are not administrators, and so we are not part of the daily effort that is such hard work, we have tried in our own way to be very supportive of education in especially those schools that are sometimes forgotten. So I'd like to share with you how we do one small part here at Wynn to be supportive of public education. You know, in 2019, Wynn contributed more than $500,000 to organizations like 3 Square, Spread the Word Nevada, and other nonprofit organizations that directly impact the children and the families at so many of our schools. So at 3 Square, Wynn's investment at 3 Square has allowed us to distribute over 130,000 pounds of food to the families of students at Peterson, Rex Bell, Lohman, and Manch elementary schools. Now, our employees are not just giving of their money. They give of their hours and their passion. And so they are there handing out the food supplies and supporting those students and families. And I think we could all agree, no one can learn when their stomach is grumbling. With Spread the Word Nevada, thanks to Wynn's support, we've distributed over 19,000 books to both in English and in Spanish to students at Roundy and Peterson elementary schools. We're very proud that every child at those schools has their own special book. And I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, my mom continued to impress upon me, books are your friends. And if you can only foster that lifelong learning and reading desire in the students. So our volunteers, our employees, collect, sort, and gently clean these gently used books and distribute them to every student. A small task. And then the Goody Two Shoes Foundation is also something that's very near and dear to our employees' hearts. Can you imagine not having a new pair of shoes when you go to school? And that's what so many of the children are facing. And so at Dean Peterson Elementary, for the 3rd year in a row, every student at the school has a new pair of shoes that they get to choose. Thank you. And the most fun is our employees love being their own personal shoppers for all these children as they go out there. Our deepest relationship has been with Dean Peterson in our Adopt a Classroom program. We are in our 5th year of helping at that particular school, and we're very hands-on. We have our volunteers not only reading to the students, but helping the teachers administer the curriculum. And so we have 30 different departments at WIN who have supported 2,000 hours in 40 classrooms across all the grades. I will often call one of my colleagues to see answer to a question or try to get them in a meeting, and people are very happy to say, oh no, they are volunteering today at Dean Peterson. They'll be back in an hour or two. We believe in that. We believe as being a good community citizen, we have to choose priorities. And clearly, education of our students, for our employees today, and for the future employees of WIN Resorts. We are so happy to have you all here and to participate in this excellent enclave. So now I have the distinct honor of introducing my friend Mary Beth Seawald. And Mary Beth is president and CEO of the newly rebranded Vegas Chamber of Commerce. And I hope you had the chance to be here a few weeks ago at WIN when we hosted Preview 2020. And you would have seen Mary Beth in her own drum line, just beating that drum as fast as she possibly could. She has many hidden talents. But I can tell you this, as one of the President Club members of the Chamber of Commerce, Mary Beth has made a difference. And I'm so happy that you're here today, Mary Beth. Please join me up here.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Marilyn. One thing I learned, a couple of things I learned from being in that drum line was that I probably should keep my day job. It was so much fun, but Dr. Jara and Mrs. Jara and family, thank you so much for having us here today, and thank you all for being here because we all know that education is so incredibly important. And speaking of that drum line, Dr. Jara, I guess you kind of raised the bar for me. I thought I was cool drumming with the Vegas Golden Knights drum line, but you know, for you to have the entire Liberty football team up here doing this chant, I got to tell you, I guess I better up my game next time, right? Okay, so today we are so excited to be here. I'm thrilled and honored to be representing the business community here at the State of the District. Dr. Jara today is going to talk with us about 3 main things. Number 1, the great accomplishments of the Clark County School District, the great challenges that the school district faces, and there are several, as he will tell you. And he's also going to talk about his vision and his priorities for 2020. I was absolutely delighted when Dr. Jara invited me to be part of this program this morning. I was delighted because over about the past 18 months since Dr. Jara has been here, I've really gotten to know a little bit more about him and how much he truly and deeply cares about the students. And that's evident today. With all the student involvement that you saw today, it was just amazing to get to hear the choir sing, to get to hear the national anthem, to have the football team up here doing their chant. That was absolutely amazing. And then to get to meet all the kids over at the Fertitta Middle School and to have them as part of this today. They were absolutely amazing. I went around the table, they came to me, shook my hand. I gotta tell you guys, I'm so impressed, and I wanna connect you with our businesses at the Chamber because they will hire these kids. I'm telling you, they're amazing. If you haven't had a chance to see the kids from Fertitta Middle School, please go meet them. I asked Dr. Jara several times about why he's so passionate about the kids and where that passion comes from. And he told me a story that really touched me, and I could kind of identify with him. But Dr. Jara told me something you may not know. His mother had a 6th grade education. She had a 6th grade education. She was raising 6 kids all by herself. Single mom raising 6 kids, Dr. Jara and his 5 siblings. She went to work. She worked every day. She worked hard. Dr. Jara said that through all that, she held the kids accountable. She taught them to be disciplined. She taught them to value their education. And so Dr. Jara, little Jesus, grew up like so many of he wasn't a doctor then. I think you've always been a doctor. You were born a doctor, weren't you? He sees himself just like the kids who he serves. So, you remember when we were small, maybe we were nervous, we were scared, some of us, had challenges with bullies and things like that. Dr. Jara was one of 6 kids, and so he sees himself as a little boy, just like the kids he serves. And that really touched my heart. So that tells me a lot about where Dr. Jara comes from. He also told me another story that I really want to share with you about Ricky Falcone, who on graduation day, Ricky walked up to Dr. Jara on the stage and he told Dr. Jara, "Because of you, I am walking this stage." Wow. I can't say that about that a child has come to me and said those words to me. Dr. Jara then said to me, "There is no amount of money that can give me what Ricky Falcone gave me today." So that's the heart of the Clark County School Superintendent. That's the heart of Dr. Jara. That's the heart of Jesus. And we thank you for that because that's your heart and that's what we want in our Clark County School Superintendent. Thank you. Dr. Jara harnesses that drive, and he's harnessed it in his very short time as superintendent at Clark County School District. He's become a proven leader of the school district, and even more so, he's a tireless champion for improving the educational experience of our kids here in Southern Nevada. Something you may not know about Dr. Jara, again, is that he's also an amazing partner and collaborator with the business community. He is committed to standing up and making the tough decisions when he needs to on behalf of our students. At the Vegas Chamber, we know that education is truly the foundation of a successful community and a successful economy. And without properly educated and trained workforces to fuel our business and our community absolutely can't grow. It's just that simple. Do you know what is imperative to this community? I'll tell you one thing I know Superintendent Jara knows. What's imperative for our community is making absolutely sure that students graduate from K through 12 and to make absolutely sure that the students are prepared and trained to go on to get a good paying job in our workforce. The Vegas Chamber is so proud to have worked with Superintendent Jara, or as my good friend Puna Mather likes to say, Super Nintendo. I'm sorry, you guys, I laugh every single time she says that, Puna Mather, Super Nintendo. But he knows the importance of training our kids and getting them good paying jobs when they grow up. One significant accomplishment that we've worked on together with so many of you here in this room today is to revise that Nevada plan and modernize K through 12 funding. That formula is a monumental change, and that's going to lead funding for CCSD, and that'll help our kids directly in the classroom. Yes, thank you. Dr. Jara has also forged so many great relationships with other community organizations, moving CCSD with intention and moving CCSD with focus. He's done that through his Focus 2024 strategic plan. And I remember about this time last year sitting in the audience with many of you when Dr. Jara announced it. That plan has been an amazing tool to turn words into actions. And Dr. Jara is leading CCSD as it builds a system of support internally, including something that's really amazing called job-embedded coaching for teachers. That is an amazing program. The district is also creating much-needed efficiencies in processes and operations to channel those dollars right into the classroom. Another area Dr. Jara has a keen understanding, and it's another significant area in which we are partnered, is he knows exactly how important it is to align training with businesses. And why is that? Because, again, we need our students to be able to be trained and to take those jobs when they graduate. At the Vegas Chamber, we know how important education is, and that it is absolutely vital to the foundation of our community's success. And we know that Dr. Jara is a catalyst for strengthening that foundation. And now we do have something very special for Dr. Jara. I don't know if he's going to be surprised about this. I'd like to invite two of my very special friends up to the stage, please. Jaime Cruz, the Executive Director of Workforce Connections, please join me. And Mr. Jonas Peterson, the President and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. Please join me on the stage. The Vegas Chamber is so honored to be partnered with these two amazing organizations. We recently partnered on something called Workforce Blueprint 2.0, and that was a project that identifies the top 100 highest in-demand jobs in Southern Nevada. And we want to take this time to thank Dr. Jara for his engagement on this report. If you, sir, would join us on the stage as well, please. Thank you, Dr. Jara. Now, don't be shy. Look at him. We want to honor Dr. Jara. If you would stand in the middle, please, of these two gentlemen. We want to, honor you, Dr. Jara, not only for his engagement, but for sharing this plan with administrators, teachers, principals, and especially the students. This report truly is a roadmap to employability. It gives students a pathway to getting a good-paying job and really a sustainable career. So, Jonas, Jaime, and I, we would like to take this time to honor you and to present you with this award. Thank you very much. Okay, this award is called the Work Ready Community Award, and we couldn't be happier at the Vegas Chamber to be partnered with you, Dr. Jara, and Clark County School District. We're so proud of you. We're so thrilled about the accomplishments you've made and the accomplishments you will make. And Dr. Jara, I can safely say that on this day, I can be quite assured that your mother is so proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Clark County School District Superintendent, Dr. Jesus Jara.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mary Beth. But I accept this award on behalf of the trustees, my cabinet, our 42,000 employees, but really, most importantly, the children, the 320,000 children that I have the honor to serve as their superintendent. I'm just humbled and struck for the recognition. There have been some fast 20 months, but Mary Beth, I believe I met you in the chamber a week into the job, or maybe 2 weeks. I got a call from my government relations team and said, well, you need to be in Washington. I said, well, I got work to do. I said, no, you need to be there in Palmer-Rack, and said, well, superintendent, you need to be here. And I said, okay, it's part of the job. And what we were celebrating, I sat there and really listened to the chamber with the congressional delegation, and we were celebrating the capital entertainment of the world. We were celebrating what is, Golden Knights are here, what is and going to continue now with the Raiders coming, the sports capital of the world, the Aces, the Aviators. And I said to myself, well, how about education? The reality is that we have a lot of work to do. And I said, you know what? We will become the world-class school system in America because of the people that are here. This isn't about one person. This isn't about me. It really isn't. It's about the board. It's about the staff. It's about, most importantly, the kids. And that's what drives me every single day. What you saw today, you know, Coach, and I don't know, Mr. Bello, did you send them back to school already? I know you did. You know, the first day of school, I had an opportunity to try it. Didn't work out so well for the superintendent, but I played along. But you know, they are in the last 10 years, it's been the private schools winning. So we're very proud of Liberty High School being the first public school to win a state championship. What you saw here, and it was purposeful for me to recognize all our kids, because I'm trying to adjust. It kind of flipped a little bit. What you saw was how our public schools are working. The choir, the performance, the athletes. You're going to hear a little bit about our academics. Public schools in Clark County are working. In spite of what you read, we just need to go from pockets of excellence to a system of excellence. And that's what we're going to do. Now, thank you for being here at the Wynn Las Vegas, and thank you to the Wynn Resorts for hosting and donating this amazing space that we have here this morning. We are very proud, and you heard the list of the partnerships that we have here from the Wynn and the work that we're doing together. But it's not just what you see here in donating space, because you know what, and one of the things I always ask the business community, it's not just about giving us more money. It's about the talent. It's about coming, talking to our kids, donating your time. And I've been at Peterson, and I see the work that you're doing. I've been at some of our other, at the Wynn Elementary, and some of your other partnerships, when you go in and you give our kids a Christmas present, which is the only one they have. It's from you. So thank you for your holistic approach in helping our children. Also, you are partners with our, not our farmers market, I know Commissioner Kirkpatrick is here, but with Green Our Planet. Something you may not know is that we run the largest student-driven farmers market in the country. So that is what this is all about, right? Our work and our kids. But, you know, I was thinking, what's a theme, you know, our progress and moving through our progress. I said 2020 is the year of our kids. And that's why you're all here. It's for our children. It's why we get up every single morning. It's what our kids deserve. So I'd like to our school board advisory council and our committee who are here. Thank you for being here and running this State of the Schools. But let me tell you, and I'm going to brag a little bit, where's Shreya? I had an opportunity to meet her in our first day. She comes in, walks in, and I'm going to brag about her, but she came in a little late because, you know, we're now, Trustee Cavazos, we've been working and going from different schools, different sites. And she comes in a little late and was so excited to join us. She's also a 4.9 student in her GPA, multiple sports, speech and debate, runs her own nonprofit for supporting education in India. So she's allowed to be late, just a little bit. But you know, we don't know where she's going next. But I think as she's applied to Harvard, Columbia, Dartmouth, UC Berkeley, obviously Brown, other institutions across this great nation. Again, our public schools are working in spite of what you hear. Thank you for being here, Shreya. Thank you for... Our football team, I already talked about them, and again, the performance in our kids. So, you know, the energy that we have here this morning, it's really driven by our students. And that's what we see in our classrooms, that's what we see in our schools. So I am glad that all of us can come here on behalf of our 320,000 students that we serve. And my 7 bosses who are here, trustee, board president, Lola Brooks, vice president, Linda Cavazos, our clerk, trustee Ford, Dr. Young, trustee Garvey, and trustee Cepeda. Thank you for your commitment. And trustee Wright, there you go. Thank you for your commitment and continuing to help us move forward. But a special recognition go to 3 trustees. Trustee Garvey, Trustee Wright, and Trustee Young, thank you for your commitment to this community for the last 11 years as you, well, it's not 12 yet, Trustee Young, it's the last one. We're working on this last one. It's going to be 12, it's 11 in 1 month. So thank you for your commitment to this community. I tell you, our cabinet, my cabinet, your cabinet, who is here, please stand and be recognized. I'm going to say a few things about them because they are extreme professionals in their craft. They're experts in their field. It's taken me about a year and some months to put together what I believe is the best cabinet this school system has ever had. They are experts and they are moving fast because I'm a little impatient. But they are moving fast and supporting our kids. So please, members of my cabinet, please stand and be recognized. If you don't stand, I'll call you out. Thank you. Our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Gail Hudson, is here. Teacher of the Year, where is Ms. Gail Hudson? Thank you. Again, our elected officials, thank you for your commitment and thank you for being here because this is important. This is important work, and not one person can do this job alone. Not one. I can't do this job alone, and I need everybody in this community. But let me say this, because this battle that we have is really important. It's about our kids, and you can't fight it alone in order for our children to have a chance at life. But before I continue and start talking about the accomplishments that we have had this past year, I want you to read this. I'm going to read this quote. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So we need to read that again because education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. See, when I get up in the morning and I think about our youth, I think about the possibilities. I think about the possibilities that we have and the responsibility that we have, everybody in this room, to help our children, to help this entire community. So sometimes I'm frightened by what we face. Sometimes I'm encouraged and motivated. But I'm going to tell you, I will never, ever waver for a decision that's negatively going to impact. I'm going to make the right decisions that we can all come together on behalf of our students because this work, it's about children. It's not about everybody else. It's about the lives that we have the opportunity to really touch in this entire community. So all of you should have the same motivation, sometimes be frightened, because this is, again, together, all as one. We have a rich tapestry of children. They come from all different countries, speaking different languages, free and reduced lunch, homeless. But you know what? It's never an excuse. It's really understanding our kids, and then what do we need to do to help them and support them. That is what we have to do as one. So let me share a video with you that talks a little bit about Clark County Schools.
A defining moment in education has come to the Clark County School District. Every day, we open the doors of opportunity for 320,000 young minds across 8,000 square miles, and you can see and feel it. It's all in keeping with our Focus 2024 strategic plan, an effort that levels the academic playing field for all students. A plan that's inclusive of the 360 schools we operate, with a foundation that is built around equity and access, and puts students first, raises the bar of academic excellence, requires tough accountability, forces adults to roll up our sleeves and make us dig deep so they can aim high. In the last 18 months, we put our words into action. We have expanded our academic offerings, strengthened our teacher hiring process, and provided tools for existing educators. We put a magnifying glass on the recruitment process for our world-class magnet schools. We dismantled it and rebuilt it, stronger, with equity and access at its core, allowing more underrepresented students the opportunity to truly flex their academic muscles. We have more students graduating, academic rigor at each facility, and more campuses receiving national honors. We represent the hopeful American promise, with students from 158 different countries speaking 72 different languages. We are a rich tapestry of possibilities. We are creating a culture of academic excellence. The expansion of CTE programs at each of our comprehensive schools, offering more advanced placement courses, and ensuring that every child attends a world-class facility, will result in more of this, and this, and this. Join us as we prepare tomorrow's leaders for a future filled with boldness and ingenuity. Game on.
I love CCSD. We're goal-getters and goal-setters.
Again, our schools are doing amazing things. So I told you last year there was going to be some changes that we needed to make on behalf of our students. We have our Focus 2024. And I want to say this is not my plan. I know I hear this, well, this is your vision. No, this is our vision. This is because when we put together this plan, it was an entire community. We had town hall meetings, the board reviewed the plan, our cabinet worked on the plan, our principals. So this is not mine, this is ours. So it's not Dr. Jara's vision, this is our entire vision for what we want for our kids now. I'm gonna be held accountable to deliver on the results, and we'll do that for our kids. So, you know, as you see, instructional excellence, the human element, our adults, equity and access, our tools for development, our critical operational efficiencies, and transparency and sharing. Again, our children, as we look at, everybody's got a story. Every single student has a story. But I'm going to tell you a story about one of our athletes that's leaving us, graduating this spring. And I learned about Darnell Washington in a conversation with the principal, because I want you to understand our kids' lives. I want you to understand what we go through, but we're never going to give up on them. See, Darnell, in his last couple of years, had some home insecurities, where he was going from place to place with his family, living in different homes. At night, sleeping in a laundromat to get to school. So the principal and the staff at Desert Pines came together and supported Darnell. Now, he's also a gifted athlete, and I just met him, and I tried to convince him again. I said, you know what, why don't we think about, instead of going to the University of Georgia, let's think about another school, maybe not in the SEC, but Darnell, please stand and be recognized as you are on your way to the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Again, the life of a student from CCSD, because of the adults in a campus, provided support, kept them on campus, kept them in school. So now he's got a bright future. So now you're going to do great things that represent us well, Darnell. So congratulations to you and your family. This past fall, we recognized 63 principals in the superintendent's honor rolls. And I know there's a couple of you that have been on the honor roll 2 years in a row. This is not just our 5-star schools. 63 principals, it's a 5-star schools, but there's certain schools in there as well that I am committed to recognizing, because these are Title I schools that are outpacing some of our counterparts, not only locally in the state. So great work by our phenomenal principals and teachers in those campuses. So this coming spring, I will be recognizing our teachers in the teacher honor roll as well. Last year, we recognized 128 nationally board certified teachers. Because you know what? It is not a program. I say this all the time. It is not a reading or a math program that we put kids in on a computer with headphones. It is a classroom teacher. Research is very clear that is the number one predictor for student success is the classroom teacher, and the number 2 is the building principal. We see that, and you see the success. So it is that human element for our students. So as we continue to improve student outcomes, and we'll share that this past year, we celebrated 98 schools that are 4- and 5-star schools. We had 86 that increased their ratings. So great work happening in our schools, great work happening because of the work our teachers, our support staff, and our building principals are doing in our schools. So now we also were recognized. We have 2, and the principals are here. 2 nationally blue ribbon schools, Charles Phyllis Frias Elementary and Advanced Technologies Academy. And Principal Pamela Lindmoth is here, and Jonathan Snidel is here as well. Thank you for being here, and congratulations for your work and dedication in our schools. We also recognize our 36 magnet schools, nationally recognized magnet programs. Again, great work happening in our schools, absolutely phenomenal. But also we had an increase of 7 awards this past year. Teachers didn't change, students didn't change. There's a clear focus on instruction and a clear focus on the culture. And we saw an increase. So then, how do we then replicate and offer that opportunity for more students? So that's why we are working diligently to change the criteria, which we did, to provide more access and opportunity for more of our students into these phenomenal programs. So we're waiting and looking to see what the data tells us on how many more students of color, because we had barriers in place that were denying access. So we changed that into our magnet application this past year. So congratulations to the work in our magnet office and as well in our schools. Charlotte Hill Elementary, nationally recognized Title I school by the U.S. Department of Education. Again, children living in poverty can perform at high levels if we provide the support. So how do we replicate the work that Ms. Reynolds, Jennifer Reynolds, is doing in her school? So congratulations, Ms. Reynolds. I know you're here with us today. So again, replicating our efforts so we have more opportunities for our students. But not only do we recognize our state data, which is important, but how do we compare with the nation, with the nation's report card? Look at our scores. We, our fourth graders in reading, outperform 80% of our counterparts, large urban districts, last NAEP results. Grade 4 mathematics, equal or greater than 76.9 of the urban districts in NAEP, 84.6 in 8th grade reading and in math. So our public schools are working and moving forward to support our children when you look at our comparison and you look at large urban school systems across America. So congratulations to our staff and our building principals. But we have a lot of work to do. I'm not one to not only tout our success, but also say, hey, here's where we are today. Here is where we are today because we have to make progress for our students. Our dual enrollment has increased. Our partnership, not only the business community, but our partnership with CSN, with Nevada State College, with UNLV. We doubled and increased to 4,000. But you know what? 4,000 students, we have 49 high schools. That's not enough. That's not enough. When you look at our AP numbers, we have 12,000 students in AP classrooms. So when we do a comparison across other large urban school systems in America, we have a lot of work to do. But you know what? And let's keep it real, if we can. There's other states, and Dr. Zaragoza and I always talk about this, there's other states that these programs are funded by the state. New Mexico, Louisiana, right? Maine, across the country, Texas. I won't say Florida, but there's other states that fund CTE, fund dual credit, fund AP for our students. So that's something that we have to look at if we want our kids to compete nationally, because it is a barrier for students and schools if it's not funded, because then it separates who can pay for and who can't. That is the reality. It's not an excuse, it's the reality. So then our schools are working hard to find ways to do this, and so are we. But when we compete nationally, let's put us on the same path. Because I tell you what, the kids you met today, I had an opportunity, and they're all right there, and I know Maria Marinch was getting upset, not upset with me. She's like, Superintendent, every time you talk to a kid or you see a kid, you invite them to the state of the school. We're gonna run out of space. When I met the young ladies from Fertitta, I said, they're coming. Because Mary Beth, they're amazing. But again, our kids are amazing, but we need to give them the tools. So congratulations to our building principals, but we have more work to do in partnership with our leadership. I know Maria Valenzuela from East Career Technical Academy is not here, but she is graduating with her AA as a high school student. Again, thank you. I know Principal Delgado is here. Great work that's going on. And I know that we have Morinique and Moriniki Ayali, students at Coronado High School. I see Principal Piccinini here, that are taking several and multiple advanced placement courses while in high school, doing amazing things at Coronado High School. Congratulations again. Thank you for being here this morning. We also have Christian Barcenas. Christian, are you here? From Bonanza High School. So Christian is leaving and graduating. No, you're going to clap once I finish, because he is graduating with a video production certification, ready to go into the workforce. So if they're hiring right here, he's going to be ready to go, because some of these jobs here in Clark County up to $65,000 a year without student debt. Right into the workforce, and Christian will be ready. I know Principal Petrie could make it. They had an NAIA very important board meeting today, but I know that you're here and so is your teacher. So thank you for being here this morning. We've experienced a slight increase in graduation rate, 85.8 this past year. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to be settled and satisfied until our graduating seniors and their diplomas get them into a job or graduate college ready. That means that they are not going to take any remedial courses once they walk in. That's why it was so critical for us in that partnership that we signed last year with NSHE and our higher ed institutions. By the way, the first K-12 school system to do that here in the state of Nevada. So Michael Flores, thank you for your leadership there. So you know we have 20 high schools in Clark County that have jumped on board, and others are coming. We have a little bit over 2,000 students that are taking that remedial course now with us at no cost to the student or the family for them to take their remedial class. So they walk into their first year college for that first mathematics class. So congratulations and thank you for your work around there in the partnership with NSHE. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about our work around workforce development and the blueprint. Mary Beth, Jaime, and Jonas, we are very excited in partnering with you in this work on Blueprint 2.0 that was developed by LVGEA and the Vegas Chamber and the Workforce Connection. Again, identifying high demand jobs in Southern Nevada so our kids are ready. How do we then shift what we're doing as a school system so when our kids graduate, they graduate right into a job, if that's what they choose. So we're very excited working together, and also very excited, I know our labor unions are here, because our kids should also be ready to go into the apprenticeship program. And excited that 872 is here. I know Tommy White and Jeff Prophet are here with us, and Smart 88. Because as we are seeing opportunities and preparing our kids into the workforce, because they're seeing some folks that are retiring, and there's a huge gap of employees. And again, we are the economic, I know Dr. Zaragoza and I have this conversation, we in K-12 are the economic engine of this community, because when you're trying to recruit businesses to come here, how are the schools doing, and are we preparing our children into the workforce? So we are a key partner, and so thank you for your leadership there. So now let me switch gears a little bit of where we need to go. And this is one of the things that drive me. It's equity and access. Because if we have great programs, they should be great for all kids. Not just some kids. Not the kid that just is sitting in the front of the room. Because I tell you what, I wasn't that kid, right? I was in the back of the room. That's why I guess I became a high school principal, because high school principals go to meetings, they sit in the back of the room, right? I mean, it just continues. But it's these phenomenal programs that we're talking about, they should be for all kids. So when you look at our data and our data transparency, we have some huge and a lot of work to do. So the board and I, this past summer, we created the Student Equity and Access Commission. You know, open the hood of the car, right? And let them look in. You know, is there some humility there? And it's something that we all know and we all have seen. And we know it, but spend 6 months looking inside the hood of your car, right? And I just received the Equity and Advisory Commission last week, the report, which was brilliant. But it gives us 4 failure points that we need to address. We, collective we, everybody in this room, so you didn't come here for just a free breakfast. This is where I'm calling you in. As a community, you heard from my trustees, this is not just the school system. Because pre-K access, there's a huge gap and a huge need. 12,000 seats that we need. That's why our partnership with the county is critical. But when you look at those 12,000 seats and you break it down for our students of color, that's where the majority of the need is, right? Elementary pathways and gate. So in Clark County School District, there's a school. You know where I'm going, Poonam. There's a school in an elementary school in Clark County that 1 in 4 students are gifted and talented. That's great. When you look at and you break it down, the student demographic, 90% of the children are white, middle class. So the message is every 1 in 4, they're brilliant children, geniuses. Then you break down the data. There's another same school, there's another elementary school in another part of Clark County. And I was corrected yesterday, it's 1 to 190 students are gifted and talented. 89% of those children are black and brown. The message is, you're not so smart. So that's why we have reallocated resources. We have reallocated resources to do a 2nd grade universal gifted screening for all students to level the playing field. Because we know that there's brilliant children living in poverty. We just haven't found them. So we will, and we're going to, because we're committed to addressing the equity issue. Our middle school pathways, we look at our high school credit courses in our middle schools, and you look at our data in the suburban ring outside of the valley. So our children living in the urban core don't have access to take Algebra 1 or geometry. So that is eliminating them from the magnet programs. So that has to change, and we will change, because the Equity Commission report also comes with some recommendations. And as I mentioned, and the board, and we're committed that this is not going to be something that we're going to just put on the shelf. We will act and we will report. And we will come to this community to say, here's where we are and here's what we need. And here's where we're going. Our high school, we have high school programs. We have a certain high school that has 16 programs. Dual credit, AP, CTE, in the same valley, in the same school system. Then we have another one that we compare to, has 44. How is that equitable? That has to change. So if you're lucky to live in a certain zip code, you're given different opportunities. Has to change. Because then we look at and dissect the data, and you start looking at the numbers. Our black and brown students don't have access to some of the programs that everybody has the opportunity. And then you start digging into the data. When we graduate high school students and going into our higher ed community, and you look at the remediation rate, we may have a 90, let's keep it real. We have some graduation rates, and then we have a 70% remedial courses when they get to our partners in higher ed. So we have to address that, and let's be real, let's look at it, and how do we then support our kids, because it's something that we need to do differently. So that's part of where we're going with this Equity and Access Commission that I am so excited to really dig down into supporting our schools and our children. So I've also made a commitment to this community about our safety and the work we need to do. You know, we have more canine searches. We've done all the random searches and a lot of the different things that we're doing in our secondary schools. We're looking at the opportunity with our grants that we're submitting to the state on the infrastructure. So we're excited and really pleased that the state legislature allocated dollars for safety, for infrastructure, because it's needed. But then we need to look at how one of the things that we needed to look at is how we were disciplining and holding our kids accountable. So that had to change. We created for the first time ever, now every school follows the same rules on a K-12 education, discipline code of conduct. Because in the past, it didn't exist. Now, across the board, it's equitable in how we hold our students accountable. But then also change the mindset about promoting more restorative practices, de-escalation strategies, building relationships with students, and changing that climate, providing culturally biased and culturally sensitive training in our schools. And then our partnership with the Harbor. And I got to tell you, if you haven't been to the Harbor, you need to go see, because it's wraparound services from an entire community to help our children and help our families. Last year, 14,000 referrals, and I know that Jack Martin is here somewhere. If he's not, we're going to find him. There he is in the back. 14,000 referrals. 14,000 referrals into the Harbor, and 5% escalated into the juvenile justice. That means we are stopping the school to prison pipeline for our students. The last approach that we've just implemented is our formal warning by our police, because we can't just arrest kids. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to, but that is the last resort. That is our last resort. Now with our civil citation, but also with our formal warning, is again providing our children an opportunity to eliminate that school to prison pipeline. And it's not about not holding students accountable. It's about changing the behavior. It's about changing the behavior so our students are held accountable, but then not as a first suspense is throwing them out into the street, because now they're in the community. We need to find ways to keep them in our schools. Something that really exciting is our partnership that we've moved into around instructional excellence. For the first time ever, we have an interim assessment for every school, K-9. In the past, everybody was doing their own thing. Now we see and we have our partnership with NWEA and the MAP Growth Assessment, that now I can see how our students are doing across the entire district, kindergarten through 9. The state funded K-3, we went for 9 as a district for us to look at our data. So Monday was last week the window closed for the winter assessment. So then you can look at our growth, see, because it's giving us data at the student level for our teachers, for our principals, and for the executive team. I look at it as an entire grade level, so then our regional team can then dissect and go and find ways to support. It's a tool. It's not a test. It is a tool for us to be able to help our kids and help our teachers, because it's about growth. Because you know what? It is about helping our schools grow their students, because we have high-achieving students that need to grow. It's not just our lower-level students. And these are schools, Del Sol. When I looked at the data this past winter, from the winter assessment, Del Sol Academy of the Performing Arts, this is a medium growth. We said the national norm, right, is at 50%. Del Sol is at 68% for their 9th graders, right? Brindley Middle School at 58%. McCall Elementary at 64% as compared to the nation's norm at 50%. So again, our schools are growing, but now I have data that we can see and find ways to support our schools, and our teams can do that. So we're really excited about this partnership because I believe this is where we're going to go, and we're going to change drastically the opportunities for all our kids. Also, in part of this partnership is our partnership with ANET, the Achievement District. It is about providing job-embedded coaching for our principals and our teachers when you look at the data to support our schools. And Khan Academy, we all know, but Sal Khan and Khan Academy with Map Accelerator in mathematics. So now when you get your RIT score, when you get home, ask your kid, what's your RIT score? You need to ask him, and did you get better? Ask him. Ask your kids, and if you don't have a student in school, ask your neighbor. What's your RIT score? Right? So then we can see the growth, and Map Accelerator has linked with NWEA for mathematics, so now the kids can practice, again, personalized for the individual student, just to address the skills that are needed. It's not for them to teach. It doesn't replace the classroom teacher, but again, instructional tools to support our schools. Last year, I also told you there was a lack of professional development and investment in our people. We're excited on this partnership with NISL, with the National Institute of School Leadership. Across the board, we have 100 principals in a cohort. It's a year-long cohort. It's intensive, but it's really around instructional practices. We haven't invested in leaders in over a decade. It's reallocating federal dollars to support our leaders. We're looking to expand that in the coming year. The Wallace Foundation, the Council of Great City Schools, identified Clark County. Thank you, Mr. Casserly, Dr. Casserly, for that partnership. The Wallace Foundation is nationally recognized for their leadership pipeline and their development. We're one of 90 districts that are participating in this work around redoing and refreshing, whatever we call it, our entire leadership pipeline. How do we develop our leaders from teacher leaders all the way to the executive level? So I'm excited. There's a lot of work to do, but you know what? I think this is the steep road that we have, but that's for our kids. You know, I was looking at this picture and I said, you know what, sometimes maybe at the bottom that people are pulling me up. I'm not always the one at the top. It's kind of like the geese story, right? You know, you don't always have to be the leader. Sometimes you have to just step aside and maybe people need to carry you up. But this is the work that we have to do on behalf of students, especially students like Prince Kumba, who is a senior at Sierra Vista. He's ready to stand up. Prince is a senior at Sierra Vista, and he's one of 7 siblings living with his mother. Lost his stepfather and uncle, had a lot of challenges and adversity, but you know what? The leadership of that school and the teachers, Mr. Anzalone and the teachers in that building got Prince ready, and he's on his way to Redlands College this fall. Congratulations, Prince. So, as I've said, every decision that I make is around kids. As hard as it may be, it's around children. Sometimes it's hard for the adults to change. It's hard. I get it. I understand, because you kind of, Mayor Lee, you're not the brain that just moves around, but I was at the State of the Schools page, your city address. You mess up a little bit of your daily operations. And that's hard for the adults sometimes to change. But you know what? We have a dedicated 42,000 employees that are committed to doing this work on behalf of our students. And it's that human element that we need to continue to invest. So as you know, I recently went and underwent my own evaluation as superintendent in Clark County School District. The last time a superintendent was evaluated was in 2012, 7 years ago. Right? Do the math, yeah, 7 years ago. I was a science teacher, not math. So I appreciate the Board of Trustees that developed their own rubric for their vision and insight. Trustee Brooks and the members of the board for holding me accountable. But I also like to especially thank Trustee Garvey, who really spearheaded and pushed the evaluation effort for clear transparency. I welcome the feedback and accountability because I'll tell you what, nobody is going to hold me more accountable than I hold myself. That's why I don't sleep at night. That's why at 2:30 in the morning last Saturday or Sunday, I sent Dr. Bernier, my chief of staff, a text because I remember in the middle of my sleep, I sent him a text so I didn't forget. I hold myself more accountable, and I welcome the accountability because you know what? Our children are counting on all of us. But with proper accountability comes guidance and support. And that's what we're going to do because not only I hold myself accountable, my team knows I hold them accountable for results. We will hold each other accountable and all the adults because our work is too important. Our work is too important because kids only have one shot at school. You can't do 12 years and say, I got it wrong, let's do it again. So we have to get it right the first time for our students. So it's really important that we do what we need to do. So I'm excited to continue to work with the board to address the areas of growth and opportunities for this entire district. We need to look at something that's been a priority since I got here, which is the teacher pipeline. This is an entire community issue, it's a state issue, and a state partnership to address our teacher pipeline because we look at our data, there's less folks going into education, so we have to be creative. And we have to continue to work together. Fun fact, last time this school system opened fully staffed in the classroom was in 1994. 1994 was the last time that we opened a school where everybody had a classroom licensed educator. That's 3 decades or more. So something we need to address and address it quickly. So really the leadership of President of Nevada State College, Bart Patterson, that we had the groundbreaking for the Glenn and Ann Christensen School of Education, and really a great partnership. Thank you for your commitment to our educators. And I know Trustee Cepeda, who I was there, I visited this week and really look forward to continuing that partnership there and making that commitment. So let me move forward into efficiencies and operations. Last year, we delivered to this community the Council of Great City Schools report. Again, opening the hood, looking in. Dr. Mike Casserly sent the best of the best in the country to look at our operations. Told us things that were hard to hear. Out-of-date practices. Not making data-driven decisions, as my principals are shaking their head. Right? Out-of-date practices. We were just making decisions in field, not really data-driven decisions. And something that we needed to address. Move to making more data-driven decisions and to increase our transparency in our communication. So we heard loud and clear, and we made some very rapid and quick changes. So we are moving, as you have seen, our principals. I love going into now I go to events, and I have a parent say, you know what, Superintendent, my son came home, and the carpet in the school is now new. I said, great, carpet, is it that easy? But they're so 25-year-old carpet. But our chief of facilities and our facilities team acted quickly and started changing the carpet, HVAC, again, reallocating dollars to address the need. Now, I'm not saying we don't need any more money, members of the legislature that are here. I'm not telling you that, but I'm telling you that we have to do better with what we have and then move forward. But our HVAC, our football fields, we have 10 fields that we're fixing, thanks to the Raiders, and thank you to our labor unions who are helping us and the county helping us and address some of the needs for our children. But then our playgrounds, 42 playgrounds that were shut down. So where are our kids supposed to play? So we're excited about that partnership and looking at a $4.1 billion, yes, billion with a B, investment into this community. So talk about how we are the economic engine, right? So not only are we preparing kids, we're graduating kids, but we're also investing in this community with high-paying jobs for our community. And our board had the vision and really looking at the capital improvement projects. So we moved away from building, to then renovating our old facilities. Because we have to renovate the space so our teachers can teach in a clean and safe space, and our children can learn in a clean and safe space. The other piece that we're really excited is our CTAs. I know we're still working on the land with the city of Henderson, but we're excited that in the city of North Las Vegas, we're opening up our first CTA, so we're having conversations when our kids graduate, where do they go into the workforce? What do we do to put our kids into the workforce? So excited of the partnership, and I know that the city of North Las Vegas has been waiting for over 10 years so for the CTA. So really excited. The vision of the board made this a reality for the citizens of North Las Vegas. When we look at our support staff, our support professionals, they don't go unnoticed. They're critical to our work because the first employee that our kids see is a bus driver, and the last employee that they see is a bus driver. And also in the food service, in the cafeteria, our support staff, critical to our work. But also when we started looking at our space, our chief of facilities created a building engineer program. Because when the council gave us that report, we had 15,000 work orders, a little bit over 15,000 work orders that were unfilled for our principals. Doug Diaz, who's here with us, Doug, thank you for being here and for your work. He really took the leadership to build with our folks in our building engineer program to make sure that the AC was fixed and responding with a level of customer service for our principals that our principals have now sending me great text messages and emails. Thank you for our building engineer. So Doug, thank you for your leadership. Stand up and be recognized. And not that it's not important, but it's very critical. Our operation division also moved quickly and swiftly. We had the onboarding app on our transportation. Our procurement, also something that an area of growth from the report from the Council of Great City Schools, 91% procurement competitive bidding. Again, using our buying power as the 5th largest district in the country to say to our partners, lower your costs if you want to do business with us. Going through the RFP process to compete if you want to do business with our kids. So we have last year $38 million in savings because we've increased our competitive procurement ratio to 91%. The other, we serve 45 million meals in our school system. 45 million meals last year. So we're a pretty large food and not a beverage, but food and milk. How about that? A food and milk organization. We've increased by 12%. I'm happy to report that starting March, we're going to do a universal breakfast. For every kid in every school, if you want to have breakfast, you're going to have breakfast at no cost, and we have invested as a district for a universal breakfast program. So as you heard, funding has been a challenge for the school system. So we appreciate the leadership of the legislature and the governor for SB and everybody who was here for SB 543 and changing a 52-year-old, I still have the picture of the buckets ingrained in my brain, changing a funding formula. So really excited about what we're working through. But let me give you some facts that are also important. We're excited about the new pupil center and adaptable funding where the money follows the kid. Because if a kid costs you more money, we should invest more money. That's the reality. But we're also, want to give you another fun fact. In 1993, the funding per student in Clark County was $53.20. And if you look in your pocket guide, it's about $67.20 today. So what's our investment that we have in our kids as a community and as a state? So the board and I are committed that we are going to work with the legislators and the governor, and we are so excited that hopefully 2021 becomes the best legislative session for K-12 education in the state of Nevada to make CCSD #1 for kids. So it takes a community approach and a collaborative effort for us to really close the gap, accelerate learning, so we provide high quality instruction in every classroom, every school, every zip code, whether you're in Laughlin, Nevada, Moapa Valley, that you get a high quality education every single day. So we are excited of where we're going. Not only look forward to the new funding formula, revenue streams, fiscal efficiencies, we need to and look forward to your continued support. I encourage you to contact the Public Ed Foundation and the Community Engagement Office to find out how you can engage to help our children. We have many ways for you to get involved. I also put on your table the Thriving Communities Pledge. It's not just money, it's also time. Help us help our children so this can be a reality for all students. Next year when we meet at our 2021, I will continue to update you on our success. We're looking forward to what we have in store for our kids. And now, I'll put a quote up there of what the great Martin Luther King once said. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We all know there's been a lot of challenges and controversy. But I'm going to tell you, I love my job. We love this community, my family and I who are here. We love this community. We love the children that I have the honor to serve every single day. So we must find a way when we have challenges and controversy. We're smarter than that. As long as we stay focused on kids, we will always find a way. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And thank you for what you're going to continue to do to help our children. So now we have our mariachi program to send us home.
Qué triste fue decirnos adiós. Nos adorábamos más.